thousands of generations, the savannah has greeted the living with the same indifferent light. It does not care who survives. It only records who does. She had learned long ago that hunger does not announce itself politely. It settles in slowly, quietly, until one morning the embers look exactly like it feels inside. He stood where the darkness met the light, the way his father once stood, and his father before that. The land did not change, only the ones watching it did. The zebras knew something the man did not yet understand, that the savannah provides, but never without a price. Every drink was a negotiation with death. Empty baskets carried a weight that full ones never could. She did not need to speak. He had seen that gesture before, in the faces of everyone who had ever loved someone and been unable to feed them. Memory is the oldest map. He closed his eyes and let it come. The place where the grass grew differently, where the ground held heat longer, where something enormous had chosen to begin. There is a moment before commitment when a person is still free. He picked up the spear, and that moment passed. The grass had no opinion on what was about to happen. It had outlasted everything that had ever walked through it. It would outlast this too. Every departure from shelter is an act of faith. She breathed the open air and let it fill her, because she knew the return was never guaranteed. They were already running. Whatever had brought them to this moment, hunger, desperation, a decision made at dawn, it no longer mattered. Only forward mattered now. Two people running together across open ground is one of the oldest sights on earth. In that rhythm, in that synchrony, is everything that makes survival possible. The grass was parting the wrong way, not from wind. The experienced eye knows the difference. She knew. The rock did not offer comfort. It simply stopped the world behind them from following. Sometimes that is enough. Even the bravest among us, pressed against a wall at the edge of the world, will pause to ask for what they need. Not every danger wants a confrontation. Some threats simply test the boundary and then move on, satisfied that the boundary held. They had been circling since before the two of them left the cave. Patience is not a virtue, the marabou learned. It is a weapon they were born with. He drew the world in sand because he had no other way to hold it. Every line was a hope. Every mark was a calculation that something, anything, would go as planned. The giraffes moved with the slow confidence of creatures that have never needed to hurry. They had not yet noticed what was coming. Most things don't, until it's too late. The foot knows before the mind does. That first step into open ground carried the weight of everything that could go wrong, and went anyway. One bird had broken from the group. In the language of predators, that is never a good sign. It meant a decision had already been made. She felt the shadow before she saw it. The body always knows first. The mind is still catching up when the hand is already reaching for the nearest arm. The grass closed over them like a secret. They pressed themselves into the earth and became, for a moment, exactly what they needed to be: invisible. It had not found what it was looking for. Not yet. But it would remember this place. The savannah remembers everything. Rising slowly from hiding is one of the most difficult things a body can ask of itself. Every instinct says, stay down. It takes something stronger than instinct to stand. The print in the dry earth was enormous, larger than any track he had seen before. Whatever made this was not following the same rules as the savannah he knew. Still, water in the savannah is always a lie. Everything beautiful here conceals its cost. The crocodiles had simply stopped pretending. She had learned to build from whatever the land offered. This was not a limitation. This was the oldest form of intelligence, making something from nothing. 10,000 animals moving as one. No leader, no map. Just the ancient pull of something the body knows and the mind cannot explain. She watched and understood. A trap is an argument made in advance. A conversation between the builder and the animal who does not yet know they are part of it. There were more of them now. The sky was filling with something patient and organized. They were not hunting yet. They were studying. The second trap was built from the lesson of the first. Every failure teaches the next version of itself. She had learned this from the land long before she needed to apply it. There it was, in the distance, impossible and real, the reason they had come. She felt the weight of it already, though she had not yet touched it. The nest was not built for beauty. It was built for survival. The most honest kind of architecture there is. He explained the plan without a single word. She understood without asking. Never closes. It only changes management. She held her hands over it the way her mother had once held hands over her. Some gestures do not need to be learned. They are carried in the body, waiting for their moment. He cooked carefully, with attention, with respect for what the land had given them. This was not just a meal. It was an argument, made in warmth, that tomorrow was worth reaching. She made her shadow dance and laughed, because she was alive, because the fire was warm, because for one moment danger had retreated far enough to allow this. There is no ceremony more ancient than two people eating beside a fire in a cave. They had not invented it. They had simply inherited it, and tonight earned it. He heard it first. A particular quality of silence, the kind that means something large is deciding. The eyes came first, yellow, unblinking, at the boundary between light and dark. Whatever owned those eyes had decided the cave was worth investigating. He did not throw the stone at the animal. he threw it away from both of them, offering the darkness something to look at that was not them. Above all of it, the danger, the hunger, the fear, the fire, the stars continued in their old arrangement, indifferent and permanent, and somehow still a comfort. Inside every ending is something that has been waiting, patient, and inevitable to begin. The shell had done its job. Now something on the inside had decided the job was finished. She put her finger to the crack